This is a tragedy that will shake us for years to come.
Horrific train accident killed close to 300 people.
This is a tragedy that will shake the victims, their families, and the eyewitnesses for their entire lives. This is a tragedy that will be earmarked as one of the deadliest train accidents of India. The Odisha triple train accident that took place on 2nd June at around 6:55 p.m. near the Bahanagar Bazaar station in Balasore has claimed at least 288 lives and has injured close to 1,000 people. There are many questions to be answered about this tragedy. The CBI is going to carry out a detailed investigation. But the most important question right now is, how did this tragedy really occur? This accident involved 3 trains. First is the Coromondal Express, which had started just hours before from Shalimar railway station in the state of West Bengal and was headed to the southern city of Chennai. Second is the Howrah Superfast Express, which had started from Yashwantpur station in Bengaluru and was due to reach Howrah. And the third is a stationary goods train, which was standing at the Bahanagar Bazaar station. Now, before I tell you how this accident occurred, you will have to understand what a main line and a loop line means. The line which goes straight without any diversion is called the main line. When you see a diversion from the main line, that diverging line is called the loop line. Loop lines are used to connect 2 main lines and also used for trains to stop for certain intervals of time. For instance, if an express train has to give way to Rajdhani Express, the express train would wait on a loop line till the Rajdhani Express moves ahead using the main line. Now, let's understand how the tragedy occurred. While the exact reason behind the tragedy is still under investigation, this is what we know so far. There are 2 main lines and 2 loop lines at the place where the accident occurred. The Coromandel Express was moving through one main line. This main line was connected to the loop line where a goods train was stationed. Now, if a train has to move only through the main line and there are no loop lines around, there is no issue. But in this case, there was a loop line connecting the main line. And this is where the problem emerged. Whenever there is a main line connected to a loop line, an interlocking system is used. This interlocking system tells 2 things. 1, whether there is any obstruction ahead in the main line. 2, in which route is the train going. Is it going in the main line or the loop line? For example, if the signal is green, it means the train should go straight to the main line and there is no obstruction ahead in the main line. If the signal is yellow, it means that the train should go through the loop line and there is no obstruction ahead in the loop line. If the signal is red, the train should stop. So the Coromandel Express had to move straight through the main line. It was not supposed to go through the loop line. Now, what should have ideally happened is that the point at which the main line connects to the loop line should have been locked and the signal should have been green. This would have indicated the Coromandel Express to go straight to the main line. But what actually happened was that the point at which the main line connects to the loop line was not locked, but the signal was showing as green. Due to this green signal, the Coromandel Express thought that the main line route was clear and hence it was moving at its usual speed of 126 km per hour. But since the point connecting the main line and the route line was not locked, the Coromandel Express went into the loop line rather than continuing on the main line and smashed into a goods train that was already stationed on the loop line. This is what caused the first collision. The collision was so impactful that some of the compartments of the Coromandel Express went over the goods train while a few of the other compartments fell on the other main line. Right at that moment, another train named the Howrah Superfast Express traveling towards Howrah was also passing by. This train also collided with some of the compartments of the Coromandel Express and got derailed. This is how the triple train tragedy occurred at Balasore. But the question now is, who is responsible for this tragedy? The investigation is still on and a complete report is yet to be made public. However, Union Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw has said, and I quote, "We have identified the cause of the incident and the people responsible for it. It happened due to a change in electronic interlocking. Right now our focus is on restoration," unquote. Based on the statement of the Union Minister, there are two inferences that can be drawn. Number one, it is a human error. The Minister says that the people responsible have been identified. That means the aspect of human error has been identified. Number two, the incident happened due to electronic interlocking error. That is, there was a problem in signaling, as I explained to you in the first part of the video. Once the final report comes out, we shall be able to get a complete picture of the reasons for this accident. But now, a very important question is, what are the lessons that we need to learn from this tragedy? Let me share with you a few facts. Fact number one. Just 3 months back in February, the chief operating manager of the South-Western Railway Zone had warned about serious flaws in the system. He had raised concerns about failure of the interlocking system in February and had highlighted the need for safety measures to be taken. The officer also warned that if the signal maintenance system was not monitored and corrected immediately, it could lead to reoccurrences and serious accidents. Fact number two. India's top auditing body, the Comptroller and Auditor General (CAG), in a 2022 report on derailments in Indian Railways, held the engineering department of the Indian Railways responsible for the majority of derailments. The report attributed 422 derailments from April 2017 to March 2021 to the department. The report had also flagged severe shortfalls in inspections, failure to submit or accept inquiry reports after accidents, not utilizing a dedicated railway fund on priority tasks, declining trend in funding track renewal, and inadequate staffing in safety operations as serious concerns. The report pointed towards poor track maintenance, overspeeding, and mechanical failure as significant reasons for derailment. So you see that we were already warned about the problems in safety of railways. Yet, what have we done till now? Indian Railways anti-collision system named Kavach alerts a loco pilot if a signal is jumped. The system can alert the loco pilot, take control of the brakes, and bring the train to a halt automatically when it notices another train on the same line within a prescribed distance. But surprisingly, only 2% of the total railway routes of India have been brought under Kavach till now. When are we going to cover 100% of the rail routes? The lessons are very clear. Number one, make the safety of passengers a priority. Address all the issues raised by the CAG report on a war footing basis. Number two, increase the spread of coverage across all the railway routes in India on a mission mode. Yes, this will take time, but if there is institutional willingness, it can be done in the next few years. Number three, work on the signaling system. This tragedy is primarily because of error in signaling. Identify all the human elements in the process and automate it. Finally, penalize the guilty and send a stern message across the railway organization against any such human errors. What happened is extremely tragic. The lost lives cannot be brought back. Those who lost their near and dear ones cannot be solaced. But we will have to strive to ensure that such tragedies do not occur again. In the age of technology, such errors cannot be tolerated. Accountability needs to be fixed and corrective measures need to be taken on an urgent basis. It's time we shake the system up to avoid occurrence of such tragedies ever again. Thank you for watching.